Yesterday, you looked at the formula for slope-intercept form. Now, my A-Day kids, you should have received a blank copy of this when you were at school on Tuesday, and if not, there's a blank copy available to you that you are free to print out to graph these on, or you can graph these on your paper. My remote students, these are available for you to print off, or you can draw the graphs and do them from there. Now, the first thing we know is that for slope-intercept form, we're going to need an M and a B. And remember, M is your slope, B is your y-intercept. So if you want to write that up here at the top, so you remember, that is perfectly fine with me. I'll write it up here to give you a hint. My formula for slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So my first thing I need to find is my slope. And remember, slope from a graph, you're going to find two exact points, and you're going to count the rise. So this one I went up 2, and then the run, and I went backwards 5, which is a negative 5. So my slope would be 2 over negative 5. Now, when you're writing slope, you need to always have your negative sign out front or just on the top number, just because it's more pleasing to look at, and that's how answer choices would be written. So we will write negative 2/5 as our slope. Now, our B, our y-intercept, is where does it cross the y-axis? And I'll label x and y right here for you. So it crosses my y-axis right here. And that is at 1, 2, 3, at positive 3. So when I write my equation, I will have y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3. Now let's do the second one together. Again, I'm going to go ahead and write my M and my B, because those are the two things that I am looking for so that I can write this equation. So I'm going to go and mark two exact points on this graph. Rise and run, we're going to rise 1, so plus 1. Go to the right one, which is plus 1. So when I write rise over run, it is 1 over 1, which is simply 1. Now my B, my y-intercept, it crosses right here at the origin. So my y-intercept is 0. So we always start, write out slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Plug in what you know. Well, I know my M is 1, so 1x plus my b is 0. Now, you're not usually going to see a plus 0 written there. You'll see it with just the number, the slope, and the x. Now, an equation of y equals 1x, you may see it written y equals 1x, or more often you're going to see it written as y equals x, because 1 is always that placeholder number that's there in front of a variable if you don't see it. Let's move on and do the third one. So again, I'm going to put my dot right there. My slope. Since this is a vertical line, you have to think back to what we learned last week, and a vertical line has an undefined slope. And a y-intercept, do I ever touch this y-axis? No, I never cross the y-axis. So I can't have a y-intercept. So remember, a vertical line, a line that is undefined, you're going to count. I go over 1, 2, 3, and then you use x equals to make that equation. So it is x equals 3 is your equation for the graph of that line.